Welcome to Constellations Earth. I am your master cosmologist, and I'm here today to do a pick a pile card reading for the collective. A little background information. I have been channeling all day nonstop, and it's just been like that lately, where it has been Dory from Finding Nemo in the background, just cheering me on, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, and literally like swimming through the channel, just like, keep paddling and don't stop. And the reason for that is because we are moving out of one way of being and becoming something entirely new. And it's a challenge because there's this need for us to cling to what was and not fully release it, and to transition into doing something completely different or doing what you've always done completely differently. And that is not always easy. You know, we like our comfort zones, we get used to behaving a certain way, and we also get hung up on things, and we don't want to change. We don't want to try new things, or there's just a whole host of reasons there. But the reading today is going to help you hopefully align with your purpose, what I would call your porpoise. I'm calling this Neptune's trident, prodding your porpoise. I'm going to literally try to poke you a little bit towards your new life and your true porpoise. Purpose being very stale and old and a has been, what was, and our porpoise very exuberant and happy and more playful and more youthful and would light our inner child up instead of our child self looking at us like that's seriously what I grow up to do. Like I don't think I want to grow up. Nope. That's sad. Really getting to live our heart's delight. So from leading a life, spelt L-I-E dash F, life, to living a life, truly living a life, the soul of your soul, the essence of your heart and soul. So my intention with this reading is to pick your pile with the intention that that pile represents the alignment with your soul's true path, your true purpose. And our poster child for this is a little mouse that was running through my house, and my cats terrorized and pounced on and nearly killed, and I caught it and put it in a box. And he told me that his name is Horton. And of course, Horton Hears a Who is what everybody thinks of when you hear the name Horton. But the little mouse really did help me hear my who I am in my heart, in my soul. When I was a child, I used to rescue animals all the time. And my true purpose is to be a voice for the voiceless, to speak for those that can't speak, the animals, the plants, nature, the earth, the cosmos, even, and to be a guardian of the earth and watch over it and make sure every creature, every person, everything is safe and on the up and up on planet Earth. It's what floats my boat is to take care of the planet and the animals. And this is one way that I do it is through the cards and getting to talk to all of you. So I hope this is beneficial to you, and we will get right into it. I am going to hold up a card and a gem, and you just feel which one you have the most resonance with. And then I will give the name of the deck that you selected and explain what each of those piles, why I labeled them the way I did. All right, so here is pile number 1. That is the back. And this is your crystal. This is a Himalayan salt crystal. Pile number 2 looks like this, and this is a druzy smoky quartz. So that one's got gold gilding on the side, if that means anything to you, with smoky quartz. And the third and final deck is this one here with a 𝗧𝗧 marble, a shaman stone, a 𝗧𝗧 marble from Utah. It's an iron oxide, basically. And just for reference, this is a female variety, if that matters. So pick which one you are most drawn to, and I will try to timestamp the reading. If not, just fast forward. I'm still new with YouTube. All right, so deck number 1 is the one with the children's faces on the back with the Himalayan salt crystal. You have selected the Stolen Child Tarot, and the message, the category, I should say, the category that this pile is speaking about is the category of nature spirits. So if you picked this pile, you could very well be a nature spirit. And by nature spirit, I mean the garden tenders, the ones that make sure that the ecology functions, and down in the dirt, on the ground, hands-on, doing the laboratory work, going out in the field. That is the realm of the nature spirit. I am going to ask the crystal for a message for you and see what comes through, and then we'll go to the cards. Okay, so that was really fun and really cool. Actually haven't done anything quite like that before, and I wasn't sure how it was going to work, but it was brilliant. What I was shown is, well, I heard burn it down. When there's nothing left to burn, you must set yourself on fire. And it said combustion. And I was shown a phoenix throwing itself into a fire and turning to ashes. And then the fire actually reignited, and out you rose as a phoenix. And what was very significant to me was that you had wings. And why I feel like this is so special is because these nature spirits aren't even human embodied individuals and will need to go through an enormous change and metamorphosis to even blossom and emerge as who they truly are. So what I'm meaning by that is essentially maybe you're a sprite or a water nymph or an elf or a fairy. And I know that just sounds so far-fetched to most people, but if you picked this pile, it might not sound so crazy to you. You might, in your past, dressed as a fairy every Halloween as a child, you know, and you might go out and make little houses for toads, that type of thing. So I loved that image so much. Let's see. I think we're going to go with about 5 cards. That was what I was feeling before, and that will be the entirety of the message. That's a Gemini number. It just feels not too long, not too short. Let's see what comes out first for you guys. Temperance. Okay, you've got literally the poster child for going through a metamorphosis to start the reading off. I feel like part of the work is knowing that you're different and that you need to undergo a metamorphosis to even get onto your soul's purpose, your soul's porpoise, and that there's going to be stages, just like the egg, the tadpole, all of the stages are actually depicted in this picture. It shows the eggs. You can see the eggs here. You can see the tadpole, and you can see the frog. What this means is that you will go through a transition to onboard your true nature and to even become aware of and develop your true talents and your true skill sets. Not to be afraid, not to be afraid. You are able, you are capable, you are designed, but the first step is admitting it and releasing any notion of clinging to who you are now in any way, shape, or form. And I'm hearing hop to it, hop to it. Like, don't delay by denying it. And this also is telling me there's, how do I want to say, transitional phases in which this is going to proceed for you. And you're not going, and I think this is probably going to come through across the board, but it's not that you won't be able to get right to it in some way, but know there's transition and there's stages to it, okay? It's going to be a timed process. Let's go with card number 2. Oh, card number 2 and 3. Which one wants to come? Okay, this one was on top, so I'll take this one first. This is the King of Flame or the King of Wands. This salamander is also an animal that goes through a metamorphosis process, like a transformation, life stage, life cycles process. So I'm not surprised this is on this card. What I'm getting from this is that you have to be brave enough to throw yourself into the fire initially. Okay. So your inner child has access to your innate spirit, your innate nature, but that little part of you is going to be quite scared and getting kind of cowardly lion vibes with that. And you have to almost wear this brave lion suit while you go through this and know that you are going to eventually get there and get through it, but it's going to require a lot of courage. It's going to require a lot of bravery and a lot of self-reassurance and a lot of self-coaching and really retaining the why in your heart. Like, why I'm having to go through this kind of hard process and hard transition. I'm not gonna lie, it's not easy. The next card is the 9 of Oak. This is the 9 of Pentacles, and the 9 of Pentacles is about accumulated resources. So I feel like it's telling me that it's going to be very, very wise to mind and manage your energy and your resources wisely, because this is going to be something that takes time. The 9 of Pentacles is kind of like generational wealth or something that took a lot of investment and a lot of time to attain the end result. So I would say that go very easy on yourself and to squirrel away reserves, money, so that you have it for later. And also energy. Like it's a very energy consumptive process that you're being pulled into and through. So being conservative and always making sure you have what you need. And also I'm getting a really strong knowing that what you consume, what you eat, what you use for fuel, your body's going to instruct that at all times, and you need to trust that. Two more cards. Came out together again. Okay. So the first is the Five of Zephyrs, which is the Five of Swords. Truly cannot make this up. This would be shame or disgrace or holding yourself back because you don't want to be seen or known as a different form, looking completely different and not fitting in to the people world. This to me is a card of mental fortitude and reassurance that you are going to come out so beautiful and you are going to feel so good and so comfortable in your own skin, and that this has been placed upon you by a really messed up society that has shunned and shamed your type, your being, the nature spirits, from even feeling safe to be in the open or exist, and have been forced into hiding. And it's safe. It's safe now. You're okay. You're being given the green light to accept yourself just as you are. And that self-acceptance is kind of the work right now. Okay. And what you'll find out as you go through the process of changing is you will begin to be informed. The skills, the talents, the genius, the wisdom, the insights, all of that's going to onboard as you go through this very long process. And it's going to teach you why it even matters and why it's applicable in the world and what service it provides for the earth and for her inhabitants. The last card is the Seven of Zephyrs. You have yet another card of tricking yourself or being very severe and duplicitous in your own mind. There is another face in that creature, so we're getting the same theme of going through a physical change, an appearance change to even get onto the porpoise. This is the card of being a shady motherfucker. That's what I call it, the shady motherfucker card. And this feels external. This feels like external. See how the eyes are closed? Shutting yourself off to the rest of the world and not letting them tell you not to, telling you that you shouldn't, telling you that you're not special, allowing like critics, that's the word, critics and Decepticons to get in your way and to disrupt you or to upset you or to lower your self-esteem in any way, shape, or form. Sorry. See if we can get that to adjust. Yeah, I feel like this is probably the hardest work, is not caring about what the external world would say, or any sort of teasing or bullying or persecution energy. You have to stay very, very strong and mentally fortified. Keep headstrong is the message that I'm getting there. I did, oh, I left it over here. I did grab an oracle deck to give us a final message for each pile. This is the Cosmic Dancer Oracle. Oh, it's the card on the bottom. I don't know what it is yet. I just saw it and it caught my eye. Okay. And I'll probably just read the guide. Oh, oh my goodness. I cannot even honor the process. Honor the process. Think about what it takes for the caterpillar to crawl in the cocoon in the first place. That's brave in and of itself. And then to genetically alter and emerge a whole new being. And I love that she is a freaking butterfly fairy. Y'all, some of you is butterfly fairies. Probably a whole lot of you is butterfly fairies. Let's read her card number 3, honor the process. I feel so validated too for myself and for you guys who picked this pile, because it's not easy to put out a message like that. That sounds like cuckoo, 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 and that's what the world's gonna transmit to you. Cuckoo, 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 and you just tell them to shut up. Shove it. I'm a frickin' butterfly fairy or whatever form you are, and I am a nature spirit, and I'm gonna be what I came here to become. All right, it says, whatever your inquiry, you will benefit from releasing attachment to the outcome and letting go of the need to impress anyone. Instead, dissolve into the experience of the now. Sacred dance is always about the present moment, which transcends any concept related to the end result or final product. After all, the present moment is the only moment there is. Past and future are only ideas in your mind. So what is the rush? If you look deeply, you will see that the best part of the journey is always happening right now. So stay present. Stay really present wherever you are in the process, no matter how hard, no matter how uncomfortable, you'll get through it. But each and every step of it is equally as important as the product, as the result. Yes, the best part of the journey is always happening right now, for there is no other time for it to happen. When you look back at this era of your life, after a decade has passed, it will be easy to see that not a second went by that didn't glow with mystery and magic. Even the most mundane everyday tasks and chores. So don't miss the preciousness that surrounds and fills you even now. Open your eyes to it, embrace it, and revel in it. When you choose to bring something to life, such as an artistic performance or project, each aspect and each step along the way can be fascinating, fun, and fulfilling. Whether you're setting your intention, articulating your vision, finding collaborators and creative partners, assembling costumes, practicing, or publicizing, see each activity as a fully realized part of the whole, perfect and complete unto yourself. I'm just going to insert right there. I would not hesitate for a second costuming it up in the meanwhile. Just put on a set of fairy wings and go to town and flitter around and make other people uncomfortable. Your impulse to create and initiate is like a compass leading you toward your heart's desire. When you undertake this journey, perfectionism can serve as an obstacle. Ooh, yeah, big time. Because there's no perfection in the process. It's ugly and it's gross and it's weird and it's hard and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. Yeah, totally. Shoot. When you undertake this journey, perfectionism can serve as an obstacle, as it will keep you from experiencing the expansion and evolution that your soul so dearly craves. No one learns or grows without mistakes, missteps, and failures. So when you set the standard at perfection, you bar your way forward and miss all the fun. Let your heart lead you on a journey and let go of any intimidating standards you may have set for yourself. No, ma'am. Hey, little bug. Just scratching my door jamb and scratching the wood to death. Sorry, where was I? Let your heart lead you on a journey and let go of any intimidating standards you may have set for yourself in the past. Joyfully anticipate the destination while going with the flow and fully inhabiting every portion of the process. I love that. Fully inhabiting every portion of the process. Remember that your journey is unique to you. Don't let anyone else define what your process should look like. Embrace your own pace and allow yourself to blossom in your own way. Bring this wisdom into embodiment by playing the music you love and walking slowly and luxuriously from one side of a room to the other. Let your hips sway, feel the air on your skin, breathe deeply, and soak in the unique magic of each step. If you feel so inspired, stop at any point and do a yoga pose, a stretch, or a pirouette. Take your time and dance your way to the finish line. There's no need to sprint or rush. After all, you'll want to enjoy every twirl, leap, and shimmy along the way. It's so very important because we can always get really bummed out that we're not the result, that we're not the after product. And all of life just passes you by. So always stay present and relish and cherish every single aspect of the process. But I do love the idea of kind of dancing through a room. Like I would totally get wings and go to the grocery store and dance down the aisles. Just as a warm up. All right, I'm gonna light a little sage just to reset myself so I detach from that message and those energies and that crystal, especially like my hands here. Hey, baby bug. Cool. All right, pile number 2. So if you chose this deck number 2 with the Druzy Smoky Quartz, your deck is the Majestic Earth. Majestic Earth Tarot. And I have labeled this grouping the middle management and the builders. The way I'm seeing this is the biosphere creators, the ones who do the bigger works, the earthen works, the structures within or on the planet, on the surface, the ones that create big projects and things for the collective. And they can oftentimes be in a middle management position where they are directing labor, resources, people, etc. I'm going to place the smoky quartz on my hand and see what message wants to come through directly from the crystal. Okay, so I wasn't shown any images, but I was given cautions. And the cautions were slow and steady, no poor construction, no shifty sands, strong foundations, doing it intentionally, doing it over time. So essentially, the message is a carefulness. Wow, I'm like actually feeling a lot of energy by holding this in my heart. This one is saying that quality matters essentially, and good things take time, and not to rush the process or the design or hire cheap labor or put the wrong crew on your team, don't put the wrong people. Quality matters and good things take time. It is really important that the things that are constructed in the future will last and stand the test of time, that we're not just recreating shitty things and disposable things and one use type of products. This tier, this grouping is really, really invested in durability, quality, beautiful structures, timeless design, classic elements. That was the gist that I was getting from the crystal. But really, 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 the number one thing was to not build on shifty sands, really set a good foundation and lay strong. You want to build a house of bricks, not sticks or straw. um, wow. That's deep. So I'm pulling 5 cards for each pile. Let's see what message wants to come through. And at the very end, I will pull an oracle card. I forgot to mention that at the onset of the video. Yeah, the other group started with the Temperance card too, the first pile. So this one is called the Tempest. And it looks very, very similar to our colors and even the shapes of the crystal, the quartz. So I'm really drawn to this granite face and just the durability of it. I feel like it's re-emphasizing the durability, the quality, the long-lasting nature. This is called the Tempest instead of Temperance. And the Tempest is a storm. It has to be able to weather the elements. It has to last a long time. It has to endure. The words on the card are overwhelming, wild, untamed, and severe. And I'm getting this sense of mud, like the Temperance card normally is mixing spirit and matter. So it's super important to pour spirit into all that you build, that you want to have the quality of spirit in the material, in the construction. But also, I'm getting a sense of just making bricks, combining matter and water and ratios, and to not get overwhelmed or thrown off balance or too impatient is the word. To not get too impatient about getting it just right. Getting it just right is going to be the integral piece that makes something last a lifetime or several lifetimes versus disintegrate and blow away in the sands of time. One severe storm, a tempest, can take down those straw houses. The heck? Hold on. This cat shenanigans. The cats have found a new perch way up on top of the cabinets and they're jumping down and plunking really hard, and it scared me because I'm here all alone in the dark and there's no reason for banging happening. So anyway, yeah, so we got the same message to lead us off here. And I love that message of patience. What this is giving me too is it's actually going to take you a lot of time to develop this craft. So it's not going to tell you right away what your purpose is or what your genius is. It's a skill that you're going to hone over a long amount of time. And how it starts isn't necessarily how it's going to, what it's going to become. So if we could just stick to construction, like maybe you start building better quality homes for humanity, and then you end up building temples and pyramids or sacred structures. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to take time, and you will build as you build. There will be almost a practice ground and time to develop the craft. Let's go for card number 2. Our builders and middle management. The ground crew. 8 of water. It's funny because this is the 8 of cups and it does look muddy. What I'm getting from this is the card of discontinuing and walking away from something and taking a new course. But one of the words on here is humility. And knowing that this is going to be a practice to stay humble, to not feel humiliated or discouraged or want to throw in the towel and quit because you can't make the Taj Mahal or the Sphinx or a sacred pyramid overnight. You know what I'm saying? It's like stay the course, actually, is what I'm getting. Stay the course. Some things are going to be muddy, and it might take a while to get, I keep hearing ratios because of the temperance here, get the ratios right. There's something very powerful about ratios and math for you guys. Okay, that's a big, strong hit. Oh, I like that. I'm so happy that came through. You can't fear math and you can't be discouraged by math. You have to have the numbers exact. It's like measure twice, cut once type of energy. You have to understand algebra or calculus or whatever the higher math is and the geometry. This is going to be the difference between durability and things that last and things that crumble, because when you get the angles just right and the mathematics just right, the measurements and all of the material by weight and by volume and by cubic foot, like these types of concepts might be off-putting to you because you just want to play with Legos. Like you might have played with Legos a lot when you were a kid and you just want to slap something together and you want it to magically appear for you. But this is going to be highly technical. So some of you guys are going to work as surveyors. Some of you are going to be mathematicians. Some of you are going to be positional surveyors. Some of you are going to have to study Euclidean math just came through. Hold on. I'm vaguely familiar with that, but it is not my wheelhouse. Euclidean geometry, Euclidean distance. So when I pulled up Euclidean, it said Euclidean geometry, Euclidean distance, Euclidean algorithm, Euclidean distance formula, and yeah. So I won't go down a rabbit hole and research that all for you because that would be too much for this video. But Euclidean math. The humility is you might have to go back to school. This says specifically on it, new course. I don't know if that'll pick up because the glare is so bad. Oh, you just got to trust me. It's written in tiny, tiny little print right there. It says new course. This is Saturn in Pisces as well. So you have to have a strong self-management. You have to be a really strong self-manager before you can manage a crew. So that's going to have to be onboarded. You might need to take management courses. This is very, very strong emphasis on studies and going back to school. And you might be in a trade where you feel like you could naturally transition to this without going back to school. No, it's saying you're going to require higher education, very exact, precise calculations when you're doing these future things. Another card for our builders. I'm actually loving this. This is so cool. Three of Stone. It says expertise, renown, collaboration, and development. You need to work on, and this doesn't have to happen overnight. This is going to be something that happens over time, but you are going to have to find the right people. You are going to have to collaborate and work with a really good team. The Three of Stone is the Three of Pentacles, which is the card of collaborations. In the traditional tarot, the Three of Pentacles is three different scholars working together. So one looks like a mathematician or a teacher. I wish I had the original deck, but anyway, you can't wear all hats, and you might have to work in, well, you're going to have teams, obviously, but what this is telling me is that three heads are better than one, a trifecta. Like you might need, say, a mathematician, a geologist. Ooh, I didn't mean to leave the middle finger. A mathematician, a geologist, and the architect type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So find good people. This is about networking. This is about looking. Do not be intimidated by finding the world-renowned people. Do not feel like that's going to make you lesser or steal your shine. You want to hire the best. You want to find expertise. You want to find the forerunners in your field, and you want to be able to become a trifecta with this team, the management level team. And then below that, you're going to have to find a really good crew. The image on this is just interesting too, because it shows basically like temple structures and megalithic stone structures that will endure the passage of time. I can't even make up how cool the cards are all matching up so perfectly to just be like, yeah, you're nailing it. This is it. Can't make it. I couldn't have made that up, that there's stone temples. You know, some of these too some of you are going to build educational universities, not some little fly-by-night tech college that is in some ugly building. These are going to be universities. These are going to be like, I'm hearing Delphi, you know, these are going to be seats of education that are world renowned and people will flock to. So do not only go for practicality. We also want artistic beauty. We want to have murals and frescoes and carvings and inscriptions. So you're going to have some artistic people on your team. This is where a lot of artists are going to find their true. So let's say you're not a builder and you picked this card, that you are part of a crew. Let's say you're an artist and you picked this card pile. You're going to probably be chiseling inscriptions in stone or something so profoundly beautiful, not doing some Instagram AI, like, no. People have like just beautiful skills that are underutilized right now. All right, I'm not going to go off on a tangent. I'll go off on a tangent. Card number 4 is the 5 of Stone. This card is actually quite severe. There is actually a cross with Christ on there. The 5 of Stones is the card of hardship and being tossed out in the cold and not being able to find sanctuary. The card words are hardship, refuge, dormancy, and devotion. What I'm getting here is it's important. Like, a lot of the people involved in this, you have to understand that this will be a labor of love for them. It won't be slavery, taxing, nothing of the old world, okay? This is a whistle while you work energy to me. This is an alchemizing energy, okay? This is not you. This is one concept you have to really get clear is that you're not barking orders and you're not just like build the pyramid slaves. This is making sure everyone is well taken care of. Everyone has what they need. The crew is so blessed up and they are there because it's in their heart of hearts too. And you have to understand that. Like, it's a lot of people in the world are generators and they will show up happily to do the same grunt work, what we might consider grunt work, over and over and over again, just because that's what they love to do more than anything. Somebody out there loves to build bricks. They make bricks. So I would get that kind of old world programming out of your head. This is a new era and it's going to happen in a totally different manner. It's going to feel like a true devotion to show up to these jobs every day. So don't have any weird hangups, is what this is saying. You can just nix all that stuff. And I'm not kidding. The time on the clock when I said that was 911. Just heal that over. Heal that over. It will be a devotion. People will be so proud to look at the structures that they get to actually go sit in eventually, Final card for this group here. My hair's getting shuffled into the deck. My hair's getting so long. I need a little trim. My lines means getting out of control. Oh, okay. We want to do, had to be different. Had to be. You have 8 of Stone and Spirit of Stone. The 8 of Stone is the 8 of Pentacles, which is literally the handiwork, craft, putting in the time, doing your diligence, showing up every day, nose to the grindstone. The words on this card are productivity, labor, handiwork, and craft. And I feel like this is just locking in the vision. I think so many of you actually have the vision. If you can really grab it and own it, or even sketch it or start to imagineer it, make a Pinterest board. Make a Pinterest board, make an inspiration board, make a vision board. Hold on to the imagery that you're trying to put together. Because in the traditional, geez, Nice coloring. Whatever. I have the worst lighting, and sometimes it makes me look so weird. I don't care. Moving on. What was I saying? The traditional 8 of stones is brick by brick, piece by piece, day by day, putting in the hours, working on the craft, honing it, getting better, getting better. It's something that I said earlier about knowing that this is going to develop over time and you're going to have to practice, and this becomes like your mastery. This becomes your magnum opus over time. But what I'm mostly deriving from this card is that visualize the landscape and see it beforehand. No, I don't think it's a bad idea for you to put it in your head, the big far off goal, but know that it's going to take time and it's going to be a long process. The other thing that I get here, there was one other thing that I was flipping on. What was it? The vision board. That stinks. I don't know. It disappeared. And the final. Oh, no, that's it. Because this next card kind of goes in that direction. Genius loci. Please, genius loci these things. The location and the creation have to match. There is nothing there's nothing uglier, in my opinion, than buildings and structures that do not match the landscape. Okay, we don't want to have a Tuscan chateau in Miami, or we don't want to have a pueblo in the middle of a jungle. Genius loci. Source locally, I'm getting here too. Make sure that you're sourcing locally and utilizing resources that don't have to be trucked around the globe. I'm also getting that it's really important aesthetically to blend it into the landscape, because the last card that I got is the Spirit of Stone. It says resources, stalwart, substantive, and supreme. The Spirit of Stone in this deck, I'm not sure if that is Queen. Let's check. Could be Page too, I'm not quite sure. Stone, where are you, Stone? Spirit of Stone is actually the king. That's what I was kind of thinking, but it sounded a little too feminine, actually. It says, rising from the forces of the earth, the mountain represents physical laws, geology, physics, climatology, chemistry, as well as authority, endurance, and determination. Offering raw materials, shelter, and food, the mountain also symbolizes a trusted provider or protector. To anneal with earth is to be enduringly generous and fearlessly oneself. The meanings are anneal, earth, resources, stalwart, substantive, supreme, courage, respect. Oh, there's a lot here. This is about resource management, minding the ecology, minding the environment, building structures that integrate into the land, are harmonious and blend. This is a whole new way of doing every structure on Earth, and so many people are in this tier. This tier is probably the biggest. Well, I wouldn't say the biggest, but it is very varied for sure. And I'm so glad that I opened up the guide. I wasn't going to open up the guide and read, but it said the physical laws, geology, physics, climatology, chemistry. There's going to have to be science involved. And you're going to have climatologists, you're going to have chemists, you're going to have physics, you're going to have geologists on your crew, because we are going to be very mindful of the earth and the spirit. Spirit of Stone is essentially genius loci. It's the genie, it's the spirit of place. And You will also need on your crew a consultant who can speak on behalf of the Earth in that location to even tell you what to build. So there's a lot of steps involved here, but you'll work it out. And this is a very collaborative tier pile that you have to have crews and you have to communicate. There's a lot of you that are going to collaborate and have to go back to school, and science and numbers are going to be beyond critical, as well as conservation of resources and the environment. Woo! That one felt big. That one felt way longer than the first pile. I am going to pull a Cosmic Dancer Oracle for you to conclude your reading. Let's see what would like to come through. Nope. This one's kind of stuck. There we go. This one says, find your motivation. It's very Sagittarian. And I'm going to read it. It's number 11. 11 is the number of Virgo, by the way, even though this is a Sagittarian image. Virgo is all the infrastructure and all the organization that goes into everything. You have to be highly organized. Have good structures, good processes. It says the universe responds to your intentions. Okay. Yep. Sorry. The universe responds to your intentions, whether or not you know what they are. The more conscious, direct, and focused you are, the more you can successfully co-create with the universe to manifest the outcome you'd like to experience. Ask yourself, what is motivating you in this situation? What do you ultimately want to build, offer, learn, receive, or achieve, and why? If your intention is born out of love and a desire to bring more unity, harmony, and connection into your heart and the world, you will instantly experience more success by bringing this intention to your conscious awareness and phrasing it clearly and succinctly. Any intention that is less than pure, such as a desire to impress, gain attention, assert your superiority, assuage your feelings of inferiority, or fulfill some sort of societal norm or expectation will benefit immensely when you realign it with the highest vibration and ultimate truth of who you are, which is simply love. This is the essence of alchemy, which is often described as the Renaissance era. I like that. It's a Renaissance era of all new beautiful structures and art. Sorry, my throat's getting dry. This is the essence of alchemy, which is often defined as the Renaissance era art and science of transmutating base metals into gold. Spiritually, this is the metaphor for transforming worldly desires and mundane energies into transcendent beauty and divine magic. For example, if you dance to feel special or show your superiority, no matter how technically perfect your moves, the performance will lack true inspiration or awe. However, if you redirect that intention to embody divine light, your performance will blossom and will be remembered. Furthermore, within the collective consciousness, the positive and transformational effects of your performance will reverberate for months, years, and even decades to come. That's so funny. For months, years, and even decades to come, that durability, that long lasting. Once you state your intention, doors will fly open. Your next steps will become clear, and you will feel powerfully guided to take confident steps that propel you in the direction of your goal. To embody this energy through movement, start by stating your intention. Stand in a long lunge, as in warrior pose, with your front knee bent and back knee straight. Point your front toe forward and position your back toe at a right angle to your front toe, toes pointing out. Touch your middle and ring fingers to your thumb tips of each hand. Extend your front arm straight in front of you and gaze over your index finger. Pull your back arm behind you, elbow bent, as if you were pulling an arrow backward. Bring your intention to mind and come into single-minded focus. When your intention feels very clear and strong, open your fingers rapidly, as if you are releasing an arrow. Bring your ring and middle fingers back to your thumb tips and repeat as desired. Your clear intention is like the tiny seed that contains the entire plan and potential for the fragment blossoming rose bush. Plant that seed and care for it lovingly, and the universe will be the rain, sunlight, and fresh air that nurture and sustain it. You know, there was a lot of nice stuff there, all very deep and meaningful and powerful. I'm going to interpret something on my own here, and this Sagittarius image is about pursuing higher education. Sagittarius would rule higher education, college, university, specialized studies, becoming a subject matter expert, and needing to study a certain field of study. The paragraph that stuck out the most to me was, once you state your intention, doors will fly open. I feel like as soon as you kind of nail your subject matter, your expertise, you're going to understand the path and the trajectory and the educational steps that you might need to go through in order to onboard and attain the wisdom and the skills and the knowledge needed in order to get ready and prepare for these paths. But once you state your intention and once you kind of like put a bullseye, something to aim at and target at, then doors will open and things will become like smooth sailing, I think. It says your next steps will become clear and you'll feel powerfully guided. I would say vision boarding would be super powerful for you right now, because that was a very long distance, far-sighted reading. I would start with a vision. I would start with a vision board, and you might see something you've never seen before and know your trajectory, what you need to aim at. Okay, I enjoyed doing that for you, builders. Thank you so much. Okay, pile number 3. I had to take a break. I knew this was going to be a little bit longer reading because it's 3 different readings in one, but dang. I didn't realize I was going to pull so much genius out of my own self and so much of my own porpoise forward. But it's taxing to channel. Nobody gets how taxing it is. I wouldn't say taxing, takes a lot of energy. So we have to juice. Pile number 3 was this deck here with the Moki marble, the shaman's marble, and I did say this was the feminine version. Very interesting. It's kind of like the exact shape there. This deck is the Box Tarot, the Pips edition. Pips being when, say, swords, if you don't know this. Pips is if there's swords, there's only pictures of swords. There's not other images. It's more stark. It's more simple. It's not a super image-rich deck, essentially. All right, so if you picked this pile, I labeled you guys, this category, your grouping as the infrastructure and oversight class of individuals. This is the beings that kind of work the matrix, that pull the strings, that do the behind the scenes works of more large scale universal forces, oversight, guardianship, and infrastructure of, say, sacred geometry or working with like really big concepts, okay? The 𝗀𝗀𝗍 marble. I'm going to interview it and see what wants to pull through. It's very, very light. Huh. It's telling me I need to cleanse with the smoke. I totally did not do that. You're right. I did not do that. Getting schooled by the shaman stone. Do the whole bath, you know. All right. Come on, Moki. Message that I'm receiving is that what it is you're doing right now is not it. It's telling me it's not your time to shine. It's not the right place. It's not the right time. It's not the right thing. It's essentially saying what you think is it isn't it, and that you're not onto it yet. Is there anything else that wants to be shared? It's it said toss it in the trash. So if you picked this pile, it's essentially starting off saying you have to start over and this isn't it. Whatever you're doing right now is garbage. And it's not that it didn't matter. It's just it's not the thing. I'm taking this very personally because it this is my pile. And I hear you. I hear you, Moki Stone. It's a hard pill to swallow. It's a hard big pill to swallow, but the stone I don't think is really one to lie, you know. So let's dive in to see what wants to be revealed then. If it's not this and you aren't even remotely on the path, so that's what it is. Okay, don't get discouraged, don't be disturbed, don't be disheartened. You are just one of the group that your life right now has no relevance almost to what you're going to be doing because your soul wants such a drastic change and conversion that it's ready for something entirely new, which could just be a soul boredom level reach where you're ready to turn over a whole new leaf, essentially. Ooh, what's on my deck? I don't know, but the King of Knives is coming out first. And it's in reverse. It's an eagle. I feel like what this is saying is it being a king and it's the King of Swords, it's a very drastic cut. The King of Knives would be mature enough to know when to cut its losses and to not keep climbing and flying and pursuing something that is going to be essentially a dead end. And this probably isn't news to you, I'm guessing. You probably have inklings of this. And what I'm getting here is, in order to be one of these oversight and infrastructure beings, I wish that this was clearer. Wish it wasn't so washed out. There you go. It's like a little bit. In order to develop into this type of being, it's probably extremely foreign to the world that we know and the things that we're doing right now anyway. It feels like you have to be brave enough to pursue higher aspirations, and I feel like he let that sword go. Okay, visually, note to self, not the best deck on film. It's so detailed and so pretty. But one of the things about this deck in particular is that it's very geometric and simple in the structure of it, and it's very structured. It's very much how I'm seeing the meaning of this group, the infrastructure group. It's the beings that draw lines and connect the dots and build hierarchies and structures and sacred geometry. These are like very, very top tier individuals that do certain roles that I don't think the human mind right now actually has the capacity to fully grasp. And I think that's why the eagle is upside down and he doesn't have a grip on that sword, is you can't fully grasp it right now. And don't fret or get worried or get into any sort of tumble or downfall or disheartened energy, because you're not meant to know until you're meant to know. And there's a level of maturity, soul maturity and evolution that hasn't been achieved yet. So take it day by day, but also be willing to let go. There's just a need to let go. Another card. I'm pulling 5 cards per stack. Like heck you are. You get 1 card. Just stop doing what you're doing and throw it in the trash, you know. All right. I got the Queen of Wands with the turtle on it. The way that this is reading to me is that it is 100% connected to nature and to the morphogenetic field and to universal consciousness. And these individuals I would call the natures. They are the natures of the world. They encompass and mean, how do I want to explain this? This is kind of a hard term. They are big concept holders. They are an element of nature, of the infrastructure, of I know what this means in my heart, but saying it out loud and articulating it is difficult. I just know it as a nature. It's like this being here encompasses this part of nature and connects to another being who holds this part of nature. And that's like their rulership. It's their body of work. It's their body of knowledge or genius. And they encapsulate this concept fully. feel like so many in this category too need to connect with nature to even know what this is. For it to come out of the shell and be revealed, to make itself seen is kind of what I'm getting here. And what's interesting is the turtle is the animal that is associated with the I Ching and human design, the hexagrams, the 64 hexagrams. So these individuals work with astrology and the gene keys and like big metaphysical concepts. Very much like occult information. But I do feel like this is saying that you need to connect with nature more in order to get the message, to receive the insight, to get the inspiration. The Queen of Wands is the most creative card, and this one's hard because it's really, really saying to me that it's very, very hard to conceptualize this and to even draw it forth. It's going to take a different level of creative spark and spunk to even connect with this. And I'm taken to the trees in the background too because they have eyes on them. And I talk about this concept called communitrees where there's pillars that really hold up the entire structure of the world. And that's conceptually kind of what I'm talking about here, is that these are pillars. These are world pillar type of beings. Let's go on to our next card and see what wants to come out. Strength. It's a very interesting card. You have those diamonds, which is the arrays that these connecting pieces make. I was saying that there's sacred geometry involved and structure and the infrastructure. These rays all connect to each other and they interface and they communicate and they work together. The fact that the lion is being held up by the hand, it feels like they're supportive of life. They hold life extremely precious and that they serve nature and they serve all of life. These beings are just invested so thoroughly in ensuring life support on the planet is what I'm getting here. Like they're so integral to life support on the planet. And when there's a disarray and they're out of order and they're not in their places doing those roles, life support on the planet actually fails. So they're life support. Not in the same way that the first pile was either. It's more of a guardian role instead of down in the dirt and working in the little lab setting, like laboratory that the first pile was. No, these are almost hands off too. I'm getting here. Like their touch is very, very gentle and they don't assert dominance or control, but they do have control and power over things, but it's not it's not by roaring at anybody. Another card, please. I feel like that one wants to be our last card, so we'll put that there. King of Cups. Whale. It's interesting that this is over the ship. It's arcing over the ship. You know, I'm taking this as a very, very specific word, but read into that arc as you will, okay? But yeah, what I get here is they have a big responsibility and duty to the ship, to the mothership. And that they're big, that's the word I'm looking for. Kind of like big deals, but they are big components of the smooth sailing, the smooth operations of the entire ship. I like there's some other word that wanted to come out there, but it's not coming. And I'm going to grab the guide because I heard to do that for the King of Cups. It says, interest in arts and sciences, successful, emotionally emotionally balanced, creative, kindness. I feel like kindness is very, very key here, but also interest in arts and sciences, but not in the same way that the builder middle pile, the second pile was. It's not the same sciences that you would call earth sciences. These would be overarching, like the metaphysical, more obscure sciences that they work with, hands-on. And I feel like this is a manipulation energy and pulling the strings, but not in a way that's like yanking or physical in nature. It's more like you're plucking strings and doing behind the scenes. Almost imagine a very high-tech computerized motherboard, and I'm talking about off a sci-fi movie almost, and you're just kind of back there as a background being, pulling strings and doing that type of thing. Final card is the Tower. This is interesting. Wow, this is a very, very hard to wrap your little human brain around pile, because I feel like these are beings that are at a distance from the rest of the world and probably live in their own enclave and group together. Birds of a feather flock together. I think they're a little bit off limits and a little bit of an enigma. And I'm actually not reading this like a tower. I'm reading this more of a temple type of energy. Kind of a being that would work in my brain's trying to find it. You know, the closest thing I can get is like Asgard, to be honest with you. Yeah, take this pile as you will. This is probably not striking you as all that weird though, and This card's taunting me. Why are you taunting me? Am I supposed to take you, or are you just laughing at me for... It was called Be Magnetized, and I'm going to take it as part of the message. If it doesn't come back out, it might come back out and just laugh at me, but I feel like you're not going to be able to find this with your mind, okay? This isn't going to be something that you know or can logic your way to. You're going to have to be called to it, and you're going to have to trust and be led and be pulled towards it. It's going to be law of attraction, essentially. It's going to, yeah, it's going to be interesting. 10, be fluid. I'm going to read the card to you, and then we'll close out the reading. In this great sea of dynamically shifting circumstances and events, now is a time to choose flow over fixity. Be flexible, fluid, and graceful, adaptable. Gracefully adaptable. You are reminded to love what is. This does not mean resigning yourself to being stuck where you are. You can find the blessing and perfection in your present moment while simultaneously choosing to create positive change according to your highest vision for yourself, your life, and any situation. Such is the wisdom of fluidity. Fighting against what is already happening will likely manifest misery by putting you in opposition with what is already true. Instead, enter into the receptive, magnetic state of flowing surrender. After all, life is an endless dance of fluid flowing continuity. Like water, be a shapeshifter and allow your form to change. Freeze, melt, boil, evaporate, condense, or cascade according to what is needed. The Tao Te Ching states the gentlest thing in the world overcomes the hardest thing in the world. That which has no substance enters where there is no space. Indeed, fluidity is the secret to vast power. Consider how ocean waves break down huge boulders into minuscule grains of sand, how water can enter any portal, no matter the size or shape, and how a gracefully flowing river created the Grand Canyon, one of the 7 wonders of the world. Access your vision. Sorry, I'm losing it. Access your higher vision now. See how challenges or undesirable situations are all part of the divine design, ushering you toward your highest outcome and more glorious actualization in much the same way that all rivers flow endlessly and irresistibly toward the sea. To embody the wisdom of fluidity, move your body in wave-like undulations. First, lift and expand your heart area. Then roll your body inward and again outward in a wave-like motion along your spine. Let your arms naturally and gracefully wave along with you, extending outward as you lift your heart and sweeping inward as you roll down through the spine. Your choice to enter into fluidity will connect you with the unified field of divine power and bring you into harmonious resonance with all of life. The number one thing I'm picking up with that is surrender and go with the flow. Don't resist. Don't resist the change. Let the universe yank what you're doing right now out of your hands, out of your cold, dead hands, gripping onto it with all your might. It's saying it's kind of deader than dead, and to move into the next thing seamlessly and without it being ugly and hard, you have to surrender, let go, and drop into the flow. You have to ride the river and let universal forces guide you to that thing. Your mind isn't going to get you there. the thing that you're doing now isn't a stepping stone or bridge to what it is. It's a new slate. So this might be a period for you where you just have to drop that thing that you've been obsessing over and let it flow away. Let it go and occupy yourself with a book or going outside, take a walk. You might just have to go through a period, a phase of detaching your identity from some of the things that you're thinking it is that you're going to do now. The things that are flipping in your world right now, it's almost like they have to be erased and forgotten. Just whoop, wipe the slate clean because what's new is so different. And in order to onboard it, I don't think you can even think in the same manner. All right, guys, that was your messages for you. Thank you for hanging in there with me for your message. Well, I guess you didn't go all the way through all three of them. I hung in there. I swam through to find out I need to pile number 3. Anyway, thanks for coming along on the adventure, and who knows? Who knows what's happening after the Pisces season here? So maybe I'll see you. Maybe I won't.